For over 50 years, people have come to see the Sharks play. Talent, skill, speed, intelligence, elite-level athleticism. That's not these guys. Biased, one-eyed, opinionated, more often wrong than right. They make up for their complete lack of talent with pure dribble, gibberish, and enthusiasm. This is the ET Stand Podcast. The Canterbury Bulldogs have won a golden point mess against the Sharks. You've seen it before, you lived it before, and we just got it once again. My mother described the game as a pathetic mess, and how can you say it was anything other than that? Welcome to the ET Stand, the Cronulla Sharks fans podcast that is just feeling the pain after another lackluster performance from the Cronulla Sharks. Sees us just give up another golden opportunity to stay in touch with the competition leaders. Thanks everyone for joining us this evening on this live episode. Please do get involved in the comments. And if you'd like to join the show, the comment is in the description. There it is. Just click on that link and you can join the green room, much like one of our regular dial-inners, Williams 2.0, who'll be joining us to Franco's run through. If you are new to the channel, do hit the like and subscribe button. For those on YouTube and Facebook, hit like. And for those legends listening to us on Spotify on slight delay, do rate the channel and also get involved in the man of the match commentary in the 3-2-1s if we end up doing that. All right, well, look, let's go to Latsy first. Latsy, you are the man of the people. I feel you feel it more than most. What is your reaction after that?
Oh, just frustration, mate. Absolute frustration. We seem to just roll on from the Dolphins game. No different. Let them get out to a lead, clawed it back, and just out of poor discipline and a little bit of help to the Bulldogs, they got over us. Gutted.
That's right.
Gutted.
Franco, how are you feeling coming out of it? Did you watch it on, were you on Fox or Channel 9 tonight?
I was on Fox tonight. I was pretty cranky at that one, to be fair. I think it was a bit of a silent, morbid room with me, just sitting in the room by myself, no beer, no drinks. I not lying, I thought we had that. At no stage in that game did I thought we were going to lose that even when we were behind. I thought we'll win this, we'll come back, we'll win this. And then towards the end there, got a bit shaky, but I still had faith. Extra time, even shakier, still had faith. And yeah, just let down.
Well, the decision-making in the final setup play will certainly come under fire and question mark. Should they have even tried for the field goal, or should they have been working the try? Sharks just can't kick field goals at the best of times. And then, look, we are going to talk about, I think our dear friend Toby might be copping a bit of shtick this evening. All right, well, look, let's get into it without further ado. Let's go to the Franco files on the evening's match. At least it's not a high-scoring affair, so we don't have to go through too much. I put it in the description there. Sharks 14, defeated by the Bulldogs 15. Tries, goals, etc. But just Hines, one terrible missed field goal. Stephen?
Yeah, well, in just the third minute, after a couple of things going against us, a McInnes drop, Kennedy knock on in a kick defusal, 6 again. We see kick out grubber met by confusion between Rudolph and Trindle, just leaving it open for kick out to pick up and score. It was, as Lats enjoys to say, that was a Benny Hill moment of all proportions. It was just terrible. Both players are known for putting their body on the line, and in that scenario, neither did. It was, pretty sad sight to see.
Toby just gave up on the play. He saw Trindle coming over and thought, he was going for the ball. He could have had a grab at the ball, let it go, and he saw Trindle slips and you got to compete to the end, mate.
To be fair, and I don't want to project, but you can sort of see the way they were thinking. It was like, if I go for the ball and he goes for the ball, we could knock it out of each other's hands. So I'll let him go for it.
So no one will.
Trindle may have had the same thought. You know, if I go, I'll knock it out of Rudolph's hands. I guess. You know, I don't know. I don't know what the right solution there is. I would like them both to just grab at the ball. When you're that close to the try line, you've just got to make sure someone's got it. Even if you knock it on or whatever, it's better than letting the opposition pick it up and score. In cricket, the person coming forward, it's always their ball. So, you know, I think it was just, comedy of errors, really. They just should have showed a bit more commitment. 10 minutes later, Katoa drops the bomb into an offside Nicho. Katoa had a bit of a poor form under the high ball early on in this match. Dogs get a set from about 15 out. They get another 6 again off a quick play of the ball. Mahoney just darts over the line, pushing through tired defence. This is all started arguably off a poor kick from Nicho when we had a bit of momentum, a good busting run from Nicho. Nicho just sort of lobs up a little chip kick that gets the doggies on the front foot when he should have been deep and on the attack. But anyway, that was another just a lackluster, soft moment from the Sharks. Sort of probably.
We've got some comments coming here, Franco. Ashley's calling out just the embarrassing nature of that first try. G'day, Ashley. And I think you're in the green room calling out Sutton's tab account, which, well, maybe that is just a bit of a worry. And sorry, John Kelp, it is not the birthday present for tomorrow that you wanted. Certainly not indeed. And then Annika's coming through. They don't think that much. Yes, they certainly don't think that much at all. I don't think they were thinking anything when that ball was going through. Yeah, maybe that's a bit tough, Annika, on them, but maybe they weren't thinking. And then, yes, Shakes come through with Toby was awful. He was involved in 14 of their points. Well, he would have been involved in 15 of the points, but he was hooked at the end. Look, there were a few moments before that, though. I thought Katoa held his nerve in that kick out, and Trindle had some nice settling kick after not conceding points, but they had even the Toby Rudolph bloody offside was lazy. Yeah, goodness. Anyway, pick us back up, Franco. What are we, 6-0?
Yeah. So the 21st minute off the back of an error, Brayley makes a nice dart from the scrum. Really good little move. He sort of the eyes up football. He sees the Bulldogs sliding and he cuts in behind them. He cops a bit of a high shot for his trouble, which gives us another set restart. And then off the back of that, Nicho with a hard running back in on the angle, busts the line and is able to slam it down while the Dogs try and hold him up. Just classic Nicho, really. It was really well done.
Crack a line that he ran, wasn't it?
Yeah, and at pace.
There was no stopping him.
We saw him do it again a bit later and not able to hang on to the ball, which was a bit of a shame. But at this time, he did what he needed to do. It was awesome.
It was the Nicho of last year we were seeing.
It was brilliant. 52nd minute, 30 meters out, a blindside play, 2 decoy runners with the ball slicing out to Katoa on the wing. He scoots along the sideline, and after being grabbed about 5 meters out, he manages to drag Zeri over the try line and gets the ball down while just staying inside the sideline.
Zeri dragged him into...
Zeri dragged him over the try line. He could have taken him out easily in the field of play.
No, you can never drag Katoa over the sideline. There's an invisible wall there for him. He's just brilliant.
That's a lot of work he did to score that try.
Yeah.
He did a lot of work to score that try.
Yeah.
That was an odd moment, though. I don't understand how that happened because it looked like he was going up, but that's what you want. You kind of want you throw the passes to your top guys and they just score, and it's another one of those moments for Ioni Katoa scoring and another week of no try for Mulatalo.
Yeah, well, now funny you say that.
Hold on, Nicho's now got the conversion from the sideline, doesn't he, Franco, at this point?
Well, he does, but he doesn't. So swing and
identical to the Dolphins one.
Yeah. and I'm sure that would have been running through his head too. But funny you mentioned Mulatalo. In my running notes, I actually had put down question for the group. Is Mulatalo gun shy under the attacking bomb? He's playing the disruptor role more than contesting the ball. It's not working because he knows he can't disrupt, so he's kind of in no man's land. And he probably would have been called as a disruptor a bunch of times had Kerez not caught it anyway. But then, as I finished typing that sentence, I don't know, is that another sign of a positive mock? Because then in the 61st minute, a Trindle bomb that finally gets us the results lands in Ronaldo's lap. And as he's held up by the defence, just it onto his boot, nudging it into the corner where Trindle scoops it up. And after a bit of a whack from Crichton, he's able to get it down in the corner.
Terrific
lovely
kick.
Lovely little work. Yeah.
I called it. I did a classic, that's a shit kick moment. There's no way that will score. And then, of course, it did. Like, oh.
Arms pinned to his side, could barely even release the ball. I think he kicked it with his calf or the inside of his shin. And just good on Trindle to back up and follow it through.
It was good play from Trindle coming around the back, wasn't it?
Yep. We did talk about it, Lats. And we did talk about it, Lats, in the contract negotiations vid where Mulatalo has plenty of try assists and line break assists, and he's a winger, so he's got the touch when it comes to things like that.
He does.
Now it starts to get a little bit ugly here in the 76th minute. Rudolph hangs on to a kicker just a tad too long, apparently. I guess leave it up to you guys to tell us and the viewers. Certainly looked like he tried to let go fairly quickly, but I think he knew he was there in the space a bit too long. The
Dogs didn't have to do
resulting. He didn't have to do it. Exactly.
Kennedy had it covered.
You knew it was coming as soon as that split second, that one of those moments where time stands still and you just think, oh God, no, it's going to happen. And if I actually called it, I said, Toby's going to blunder it here and just give this away. And sure enough.
Yeah, the Dogs get a resulting penalty in front and kick the 2 to equal up the score with 5 minutes to go, bringing us into extra time. In the 83rd minute, after a missed field goal attempt by Nicho, Dogs get 7 tackles set. They go the distance they need for Burton, which, to be fair, they probably could have kicked it from within their own half. And he nails his field goal attempt. It's 15 points to 14 with Nicho 1 from 3 conversions.
He can kick him from 60 out. You always knew going golden point against Matt Burton, you're in trouble.
Why did they called it out on the Channel 9 commentary that the wind was behind Burton from that end? Why didn't they?
Why did Cam choose to run the way he did?
Cam wanted to choose to receive the ball, didn't he? So if he chooses to receive the ball.
No, you just say you want to run the other way. You're still receiving the ball.
Yeah. He still won the toss.
He won the toss and then, so what do you get to receive the ball and also say which way you're going to run? Are you sure that's right? You get to choose both?
Yeah,
they let Cam choose tonight, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
I'm blanking. But yeah, it's you choose the way you want to run. I'm sure Williams will come on and he'll yell at us and tell us what it is.
Williams will come on. All right, well, let's just hit through these. I don't know if we want to relive the end of that game for much longer. I'm not going to make you talk through the last 5 minutes for longer, Franco. It's just too annoying. All right, let's just get through these comments. So Luke Ibbo, you legend, has come through and said, stop giving teams early leads and having to chase. Categorically right. Like, we just can't seem to just do that every week. Bianca B has come through, said, Sharks just suck. Don't remember the last time I watched them win. Yeah, well, maybe don't watch that often with me, Bianca B. Harrison has said, Rudolph's penalties and 6 agains were costly. Back-to-back matches where Nicho's ability to step up under pressure has cost us. Cam played exceptional. He played did he?
To the last 77 minutes of the game, he did.
Yeah. There's a bit to break down from you, Harrison, here. So I like a long comment. So Rudolph's penalties and 6 agains were certainly costly. Basically, he was involved in every single bad moment until they hooked him. Nicho's ability to step up under pressure. Yep, well, that's fair. And that's going to be a question I'm going to pose to the panel later. Cam, look, he's a state of origin player and the captain, but it's not like he's getting big minutes. Like, yep. Okay.
He had a couple of nice offloads to Nicho tonight, which got us down the field. Some good runs, but I thought he was off early, Cam. I thought dropping that ball, that just put us right on the back foot.
His second stint on the field was excellent. I will say that when he came back off the bench, he was ripping and tearing.
And you can excuse that drop ball because it's not a regular occurrence.
Yeah.
Shake's come through with, hate to say it, boys, but Nicho was really worrying me. He was barely involved again in that field goal. We should have slotted that. Or they should have run wide or done something better. We'll get to that. And Annika has just corrected herself and said exceptional. All right, well, look, we're going to give you a quick swearing warning as we welcome in legend Mr. Williams 2.0. Here he is.
I think I'm going to have to give this away.
Toby's a very, very naughty boy, Williams 2.0. What's your reaction coming out of that match?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
No, sweet. I'm trying a new setup, so why not? Where do you start? So the last couple of weeks, I said no energy. I don't think that was the case. Like you saw Oregon's first hit up, he went straight through him. We put ourselves under pressure. With Cam, I think, looked up before he caught the ball, which I think he did a few times tonight. Just run straight in our own half. Don't try and play these little Isaiah Yo passes to your next guy. You're not Isaiah Yo. You're there for tackling. You're there for 100 meters. And then maybe in their half, you go and do that passing. But I do have a few points, especially in the first half. I was a little bit out of it the second half. But, you look at the slow starters again defensively. Where was Kennedy? Why was Braden Trindle back there for a start? Kennedy should have been closer to the play of the ball. That's every good fullback should do that. They should be behind the play of the ball, next to the play of the ball, somewhere. Because Marnie's going to get out and kick
confusion, didn't it, Williams?
And
they called it on the commentary. They're like, what was going on? Like Joey and Fittler were convinced Braden Trindle was playing fullback.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I've got boys in my group chat that, they're very passionate Sharks fan. You think I swear a lot? You should hear them. They were. I think all
the Sharks fans groups like Williams were swearing in the group chats.
I think I thought it was Kennedy. So I was like, "What the hell is Kennedy doing?" And I had to watch it a few times, and the boys corrected me. It was Trindle. So I was like, where's the fullback when you need him? Like that's his job. What Toby was doing? No idea. I can't tell you.
Toby Williams. Is Toby finished?
Toby, yeah. Toby is
he done?
Toby's game tonight. Jesus. I've
not doing himself any favours.
No. Toby
he's one of the few forwards that we've got that's not off contract.
Yeah.
There you go.
After tonight's performance, I'd be looking at getting rid of, instead of Hunt, I don't know why we're letting him go. Why are we not thinking about letting Braden Hamulawali? I don't know what's going on, if it's something personal, but he's 1 week off, 1 week on.
Yeah, and nothing's spoken to it in the media.
Toby's, since he's come back from his injury, he's looked lethargic, he's looked tired, he's looked out. Before injury, he was great. Like the last couple of years, he's had injuries, he's not looking himself. And I like Toby as a personality and all that, but his performances aren't.
You can't just be in the team on a personality, Ryan style. No. Like you just can't do that. Williams, what do we make of where to now for Nicho? Like he's had the bad run in Origin, he's had the missed kick against the Dolphins, he's had the failed field goal attempt here and 2 more failed kicks. It just seems defensively he seems fine.
Yeah, defensively tonight he was fantastic. What did Kickow do apart from that lucky rebound kick kind of thing? Nothing. What did Cherry do on that side? Nothing. What did that whole side of the field? Nicho's tackling was amazing. Unfortunately, as a half, you look at the back at the greats. Joey, Thurston. Certainly since I started watching, Joey, Thurston, Cooper Cronk, they win your games.
They can ice them in the big moments. They can ice the games in the big moments, and I don't know, nerves seem to get the better.
But Nicho's done that for us, and he says that the Origin axing wasn't playing on him. Was it? Is his calf still a bit hurt? Because I think Trindle kicked 85-90% of the time tonight. So
his kicks have been more effective.
Yeah, you're right. He did kick a lot more in the open field. That is certainly for sure.
Of course, they're going to be more effective. He's kicking 90% of the time. Like, there's a few times. One thing that I'm struggling with, like, I think the energy was good. Once we got into the game, our attack looked good. What I want to see us do more is kick early. We're the only team that gets through all 5 tackles before we kick, so it's repetitive.
Well, it's also predictable.
It's also predictable. Like, it was very predictable that first half too. As soon as we hit Nicho with that short ball, we tried it 3 times, 4 times on each side.
Again, the Ashley.
And why we're not going? Okay, we've got plan A. We've seen something there that they don't like short balls. Okay, and then you throw it out the back. Why not put a little kick in behind? Why not mix it up? Because you know what the Sharks play is. They swing it to the right. They get it out to the wingers. The wingers are the scorers. And then we play the odd short ball. Why are we not putting early kicks on? Okay, back 5 do a good job. And, McInnes, Talakai, unbelievable night, Talakai. I thought he was by far our best player.
He's still our best player. Give us so you're 3-2-1, Williams. We'll get
3
you Talakai
off the charts. 3
Yep.
Talakai was amazing. 100th game of 2, so good job for him. 2, I thought Kennedy. I thought he didn't drop anything all night. He made a few busts. He was solid under the pressure. 1, I'm going to go 0.5 of a point. Brayley and McInnes. I think they tackled their butts off. They were very solid middle. You could see when McInnes wasn't there, the defense kind of just stayed still a little bit. But I think they both had. I think Brayley had 53 tackles, McInnes 43 tackles, something like that. So I think those two. I don't know why McInnes got dropped for Origin, but it ended up being the right decision, I suppose, from the other night. So we can't complain. And we've got no excuses either. We've had almost 2 weeks off, a week and a half off.
It should have been up for that game.
I think we were up for it.
The Bulldogs played on the weekend. It was a short turnaround for the Bulldogs.
I think we were up for it. I think it was energy, the slow start again. I don't know what's going on there. And
that's right.
Yeah, Nicho, he just needs to get his head down. As simple as that. He's a game changer. He's a game winner. He's done it for us in the past. Stop blaming Nicho for everything, because all it's going to do is just make him less confident. All these Sharks fans blaming him. Fucking get behind him.
I think he gets a pretty good run of support from the Sharks fans, Williams, but he does cop a little.
You're not in my group chats.
Well, that's probably fair.
We're burning everyone that makes a mistake.
Probably a good thing I'm not in your group chats. All right, Williams 2.0. It was good to see you, mate, even though, well, actually it wasn't good to see you because it's just depressing listening to it. It was good to see you personally, but Sharks chat-wise, it sucked. Yeah. So, look, we'll hopefully see you.
I'll be in Coffs next week. So
give us a dial in. Give us a dial in from the
hopefully for a win.
Sounds good. All right, legend. We'll talk soon. Thanks for coming on.
See you, Rob.
All right, let's quickly hit through the comments before we bring in another angry character. Hey, we're going to talk about the referees with you in a second, dear Ashley. So let's just go through. He's pretty disappointed. He's called that out. Shake has come through in the comments saying Siffer was the best Shark on the field tonight. Bent the line every run if you want something positive. I think that's probably right. Rob has come through and said that he watched the press conference. That's the closest he's seen to Fitzy being angry. Oh, that's interesting.
Rob comes in with another hot take after that as well.
Yeah, Rob did. We'll get to that one. Rob Fitzy said, Brandon Hamlin Ueli had the flu. Cover story? Maybe. Seems like the flu. Well, maybe he's got some kids in childcare or something and he seems to be sick every third week. Don't know. Kennedy was on the short side, apparently, according to Shake. And there was a big gap over there. Harley is always going to call it that we will bounce back. And my top 12 just came back from the game. Shattered. Yes, there's a few of them. And lastly, here he is. Ashley has commented, I'm ready to come on soon, boys. All right, let's get him in.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Sweet. How are we?
What did you've got in your description, Sutton's tab account. What's your take on the referees?
Sutton, don't get me started on him. I don't know what his topic is against us, but one particular moment I want to say on about Sutton is Kafusi on report. The guy, I don't know how Kafusi was put on report. That was nothing. That was
ridiculous.
Nothing in that. And if I would I hope the club appeal that because there was nothing in that. Legit.
Yeah.
Well, he won't. I don't think he'll have anything to answer for, but it is a penalty. Unfortunately, it's.
I don't know if it is
one of those things.
No, it's not. Because
the player backed into him, twists and ducks down. Where's his body going to go?
It doesn't matter.
It
It
It's the
happened to
same as
Trindle
a
and it
player
didn't get called
slipping.
because Trindle
It's the
didn't
same
stay
as a
down.
player slipping and you get him in the head with a tackle. It's no different, right? It's
Yeah.
unfortunate. It's not
Well,
right.
coach is coaching it then. Coach is coaching it to happen,
I'm
do you reckon?
sure either they were maybe not coaching it, but I reckon players know to do it if they get close to that sort of position to kind of nudge their head in there a little bit. It's no different to, in a lifting tackle, putting their head closer to the ground. It's probably not
it's one of
everyone,
those,
but there's
you've just
certainly
got to
players
avoid
out
it.
there that do it.
Yes.
So look, Joey and Freddie did call it out in the commentary that if in those moments where they call the surrender tackle, if the defending player knows that they can lay on the player, then they'll be less likely to do that move where they do the crusher tackle on them. But you're 100% right, Franco. You've got to be protecting the player and the player's heads in those situations, and you can break someone's neck by doing that. So
yeah.
All right, let's go to the next question. Rob's just come through. What was that 6 again he gave late in the second half? Pure rubbish. Ash, do you want to answer what you thought of that 6 again late in the second half and how rubbish that was?
I agree. Don't know what it was, and like we played well. Like in the second half, whatever Fizzy said in that second half definitely got them firing. But unfortunately, it was just the refereeing was atrocious tonight. Like when we played Penrith a few weeks ago, like of course it was Sutton. Like Sutton always seems to have it in for us, and he always has.
I do like to say that I honestly think Sutton had a bad game in general. Like, I think both sides of the fence, it was just a terrible ref game. I don't think it was a target on the Sharks. I just think he had a really bad game.
Well, and not to mention our
unfortunately-
discipline just not being good enough.
Yeah, unfortunately, in that scenario of a badly ref game, we got the poor rub of the green, but it was just a badly ref game all around. There was no flow to that game. There were things that were happening where I don't think the players understood what was the intention of the ref. How long could you hold someone down for? It kept changing throughout the game. There looked to be make squares. It was just a badly ref game.
Yeah.
I think that's right. Look, we're dividing opinion here. Shake's right, I think. We're blaming the refs. Shake's right. I think we just didn't do enough to win. Like, we were kind of hopeless. And if Toby doesn't grab the Bulldog at the end, we win. It's all not on the ref. Like, I think we do go on and win. But then Williams 2.0 come in and said, what about Kiko not getting in the bin for a swinging arm and Trindle's crusher? Yeah, I could see your point.
Agreed.
But they're the 50-50 decisions, I think, that just went against us. Ash,
Well, the kick out one was pretty bad. The kick out one was a big swinging arm.
Yeah. But you've seen them not giving. We didn't.
Is that the one on Brayley?
Lose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it was.
Ash, what's your take on Nicho Hines not being able to ice those big moments?
Look, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's from Origin, but like, just back Nicho, and all you can do is all we can do is just back the kid. He's been out of form before, and he'll come back good. Like, for example, he's a Dalian Player of the Year. Back the guy. Just don't put hate on the guy. Just back him. Like, we all have bad games. Like, for example, look at him in 22, won the Dalian, and he's a Dalian Player of the Year, for example. He'll come good again.
I think that's right. Also, we're going to do Franco's contract video was so successful. And if you want to go check that out, do go have a look in our archives of content. And we're going to share it again as a separate video tomorrow. I want to do a video on comparing all of the different halfbacks and where I think Nicho Hines sits. Currently, the majority of the halfbacks that are in the NRL are 32 years of age or older, other than Nathan Cleary, especially all of the good ones. So maybe the Nicho Hines investment is there is going to be a shortage of quality halfbacks coming in the next 5 years. And other than Cleary and Hines, that might be it. So that might be our chance to kind of come through. But I've got worrying signs for Nicho's ability at the minute to grab points. Ash, why don't you give us your 3, 2, 1, and then we'll let you get out of here and drown your sorrows. Who was your man of the match?
So pretty much Williams 2.0. I'm going to go what he said because we're cousins. So I'm just going to go the same as him.
Oh, just flat out. What about the point? Well, what about the 0.5s? Are you going to just copy that as well?
Just copy it. Yeah, just go with him. Just
All right, fair enough.
He knows
so that
his
was
stuff. Williams
So what was
2.0 knows his stuff.
What was that? 3 points for Talakai, 2 points for was it Nicho? I
Sutton.
can't remember.
No, Kennedy, I thought it was, and then half
Yeah.
Kennedy,
minutes, and then half for someone else.
Yeah, fair enough.
yeah. All right, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for
All
having
right,
me
Ash.
on.
Well, thanks for
All
coming
right,
on,
Ash.
mate. And
Thanks, legend.
show us your nice
Fins up.
merch too, mate. Fins
Thank
up.
you.
Wow.
Cheers,
Fins up
guys.
indeed, my
Thank
friend.
you. Cheers. Thank you.
We'll catch up with you next time, legend. See you, mate.
Just in
All right.
regards to Nicho, Boldo, look, it's all very well saying back him, but when your star playmaker who's on $1 million a season is not performing, as a fan, you have a right to be critical.
But is it helpful?
Might not be helpful, but it is. We do reserve that right to be critical, and we want
All right,
answers.
Well, I guess that is the
Constructive
thing. Look-
criticism, maybe, lads.
Look, the thing is it shows. Look, we're a bunch of characters that all come on a podcast. We're a bunch of people who go and comment, and we build a community of supporting the Sharks. We're living the highs and the lows, and when they make a mistake, we kind of feel the lows a little bit, and can kind of show our frustration, I guess. But you know, I guess we're just showing our love for the team and how much we want them to improve. Really,
I will say that the Hunt no try that was called a forward pass from Nicho certainly looked backwards to me.
Yep.
I thought that was back for all money, and that should have been a Hunt try under the posts.
I thought it was
I
forward.
totally agree with that. It was line ball at worst.
Line ball at worst. Even on replay, I was like,
Yep.
yep, that went back. I mean, to be fair, I also thought
Is that
the
one where
Kiraz
he
pass
was
went
running-
back.
He was running kind of to the left, and then he cuts it back on the right, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Joey in the commentary called that one out and said, when you are playing that way, you need to turn your body a lot more to, firstly, to make sure it goes backwards, but to also trick the referee into thinking that you've passed it backwards. And I was thinking at the time, well, maybe that's a halfback experience thing, but yeah, it was borderline. And then you see Royce, you're just looking at it going, well, that's going to be a try, isn't it? So. Speaking of Royce, we've got a comment here. Andrew Ford's come through and said Royce Hunt needs more minutes. That is probably true. And then let's go Rob has come through and said that the performance of the referee and the performance of the Sharks are not mutually exclusive. We can have not done enough, and the referee's performance can be poor. Yes, Rob, you are definitely right on that front. I don't think we can blame the referees for the match, though. I think we can blame the players for that result. Williams 2.0 is backing up the comment that Nicho was a top 5 and 6 half in the comp. Not sure what that behind Cleary was. G'day, SJD. Good to have you in. Thanks for the pod, boys. It's the only silver line. You're feeling this dreadful. I don't know if this thing helps or not, SJD, doing these.
That helps me.
Does it help or not? Does it? Does it? I don't know.
Well, let's talk. So you read that out, Aldo.
Oh, yeah, Williams 2.0. Cleary, DC, and Moses, Hughes, Nicho, Katoa as the halves. And then Shake come through and said, we really need to stop babying Nicho. He's done great things for us, but he has been very ordinary of late, 100% with you, Lats. And then Rob was agreeing 100% with somebody. And then Williams has altered his thing and put Katoa out and Walker in. Maybe. Franco.
So let's talk field goals. Okay. So we know we're not great at them. A stat came up on Fox Sports during their coverage, which said we have won 11 and lost 11 and drew 2. So basically a 50% win rate for us. The Dogs
For a
have
third
won
place team, that's terrible, Franco.
That's awful. That's awful. The Dogs have won 6 of their last 7 Golden Point matches.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we saw, and I'm trying to think which game it was. We saw a match earlier in the year. It might even have been against the Bulldogs round 2, where didn't need to do it, but we did it for practice. We set up a field goal, kicked the field goal. It was clinical. Everyone was in the right position. We were in the right spot on the field. Everyone knew what they were doing. It was wonderful. And we spoke about it on the pod here and said, this is great. This is excellent. It looks like the Sharks have learnt from previous seasons. They know they need to get better at field goal setup, field goal execution. This is a great sign for the team because it now means that they're working towards that in the event that we need to execute this. I didn't see any of that tonight.
Nothing.
We saw Trindle flummox a kick from terrible position with Kafusi being a shepherd or a disruptor for the kicker, which gave them a penalty, which put us under pressure then. We saw great run by Talakai going too close to the try line, unfortunately. He should have had the presence of mind to drop on his knees at the 10-meter line instead of keep running.
We had them in the back foot on their line, Franco. They had holes in their line because they were just playing for the field goal. We throw a dummy from dummy half.
Correct.
We cross the line.
No telegraph with the Sharks.
But that's all comes down to having your set plays, having your understanding of what you're going to do in a situation. Like if you see that, if Talakai gets the ball and you're expecting to kick a field goal, but he charges towards, he's tackled 3 meters out from their goal line, don't go for the field goal.
Exactly.
Spin it wide, or
that comes down to game management
line
on the
make
fly.
Them go 80 meters. It was just bad management. So unfortunately, I have to say the Sharks, while we thought they'd been working on this, maybe they had, but they certainly need a lot more work in what to do in a field goal situation, be it extra time.
Need Atkinson back out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That game was against the Doggies, by the way, in round 2 where they kicked that field goal.
It was.
Yep.
There
I totally agree with you on all those points, so mate. You're right. I think if they get too close to the line, we do need to change tactic, and I guess that's on the game management of the shot caller. I just think.
Yeah, but even the way they set the players up with the blockers and then getting penalised for that, and then his own guy getting in their way, the whole thing was just a mess. Come on, guys! Come on!
At that level, you expect better.
Come on!
Yep.
So
no good. And then
next question for you, Franco, is why do the Sharks only look good when they go down by 12 points and then they start throwing the ball around John Morris style? Like the centers didn't touch the ball for the first, 50 minutes or something, and then they're losing by a stack of points, and then they get suddenly a bit more enterprising, and they play a bit more. Why does that happen?
You said this the last couple of rounds. I actually don't think that's what's happening. I think it's a combination of fitness. So we are generally fitter than the opposition. So the later it goes into the match, the faster we are, the more advantage we are getting over to play the ball. And we've said it since round 4 or 5, our bench is a bit of a powerhouse. So we get our bench rotation on and they start bending the line, which give our playmakers more space to throw the ball around, and they can do that. Whereas in those first 20 minutes, it's a bit more of an arm wrestle and you don't have the freedom to do it. So I think that's kind of
the last few minutes as well when we put bloody Rudolph back on.
Yeah, I mean, Rudolph looked shot. He's copping a lot of stick in the comments here, and certainly in our private chat, he copped a walloping. But I thought he was okay in the first stint. Forgiving the not jumping on the grenade there, but
he also gave away the penalty, and he
2 penalties that led to tries. And a third penalty that led to a penalty goal. That's not good enough.
He looked shot in that second half. I'm surprised we didn't give more time to Talakai, who was, as people have mentioned, was killing it. But also,
did they take Talakai off at the end?
Get many minutes. Yeah, they did. They took him off, and then
brought him back on for the golden point.
They brought him, on extra time. So.
Well, I guess the positive is that Teague looked okay, I guess.
Teague looked
great. And they played him as a middle forward initially. Let's just get through these comments. Shakes come through saying we are incapable of giving the ball to outside backs in the opposition half. Yes, that seems the way. And Matthew Williams has come through. Sorry, gents, just got home and can't call in, nor shouldn't call in. And I'm not even sure if I could admit you because Williams, I can imagine that, yeah, we're not going to get a G-rated account of that one just yet. Maybe we'll wait for you for the Tuesday night show next week, Matty, to give us your account of that one. I thought that match looked more like a 15th versus 17th match than the 3rd versus 5th, if I'm honest as well. I just don't think the quality of the match was there. Lats, how did you feel about the overall quality of the match? Is that the sort of match mate. We're in for? Like, it wasn't exactly a classic.
No, it was pretty bad, riddled with errors. There were, I think, 22 handling errors. We conceded 8 penalties to their 4 ruck infringements to their 1. It was just a sloppy mess. It was just a sloppy mess. There's no other way of saying it. We looked, I think for that first 20, we looked really clunky in attack and unorganised. We clicked in for that sort of second 20 and looked pretty good for the final 40. But it's just not good enough. We're just not coming out firing off the blocks, and it's something that really needs to be addressed because we're dropping down the ladder fast.
It just look like we're limping towards the finals it's a sort of a season where we think we're a top 4 team and then we end up being 5th and lose to 8th in the finals is how I'm feeling at the moment. Certainly. Look, anyway, I thought the commentary was fun on Channel 9 with Paul Gallen commentating. And I thought, I haven't watched too many Channel 9 matches in terms of commentary. I've decided I think that Joey Johns is the best commentator. Franco, what were your commentary feelings on Fox? Any highlights from there?
No, it was Brandy Alexander, so he just did what he always does. Nothing great out of the Fox League coverage tonight. But they just call it as they see it. As they don't try and provide, at least in this combination of commentators, they don't try to provide too much flair or flavour. But I don't like Joey Johns as a commentator at all. But we'll talk on that another time. I will
do the tears on the commentators, Franco. I like Joey, but fair enough. Each of their own. I guess that just shows the difference of the ones that you like and don't like. I definitely like Paul Gallen the most of all the commentators. He's terrific. He's just always right. He's just every single time he agrees with what I think every single time, 100% of the time. What else do we make? What do we make of the performance of the coach tonight in terms of the way that he ran the substitution, Lats, and the bench rotation?
Oh, I think it was poor considering he put Toby back on, to be honest. After that first stint, I wouldn't have, and I wish he didn't. I thought he used Jack Williams well. I thought he had quite a bit of impact, Jack Williams. His ball handling was good. He had some really good leg driving runs, made plenty of meters. I think it was overall pretty good, but I wouldn't have put Toby back on, to be honest. And no disrespect to Toby, I love the guy. I think he's awesome. But just when a player's down, they're down. You're not going to turn it around when you're gassed in like he was in that first half and just lazy attempts and poor penalties and the discipline.
Yeah, basically 40 minutes off plus a half time. He should have been fresh by the time.
Yeah, well, he didn't. Whether he's still battling that toe injury or not, I don't know. But
he just looks underdone. Shakes come through with a comment. We need one of our impact players to start at prop. We can't keep wasting the first 20 and then coming good when the bench come on. That is definitely true.
I thought that's what we'd get out of Toby tonight with that intensity. Because going back a few weeks ago, he had a great game when he came on early or when he started and really set the intensity. But tonight just wasn't there.
Chris Kelly's come through in the comments just saying that he's angry. And Rob is agreeing with you, Franco, that Joey is rubbish. Don't know if you'd say that Smith is better, though, or you'd agree with that.
Smith is better, yep.
As in Warren or Cam?
Cam.
Cam's
Smith
not too bad.
And Slater are better.
Oh, Slater's definitely good. Slater is definitely good. And Chris Kelly said, yep, sad that Toby's fitness is off. And we'll get to your other
he didn't get to have a full off season because of that toe, did he?
Well, he's had a little bit of bit off. All right, let's get through Well, before I hit you on the 3-2-1s, anything else you'd like us to discuss in terms of players or performance? Franco, we'll start with you.
Yeah, sure. Everyone knows I like a fast back line. I like guys able to go length of the field when they've got a bit of clean air. What I don't like is seeing Kennedy go from inside our 10 through to the 60, running past a whole bunch of our players, including outside backs, and no one following him up to support him. That just made me nuts. I was just screaming at the TV for someone to show a bit of effort and follow him, follow the ball carrier, give him an option, put a question mark in the defender's head, just something instead of letting him do everything on his own in that scenario. It was just sad to see. And then the poor bloke, after running 60 meters, gets a terrible offload.
He gets given the ball straight back.
Yeah, it's a terrible offload that no one else dives on, and he jumps on the offload.
And he's got to run again.
Gets monstered. And it was just, felt sorry for him. Absolutely. Yeah, exactly,
Yes.
Kelly. There it is. Chris Kelly says, then they offloaded to a buggered Kennedy. Exactly.
It's like, let's just throw the ball to the only guy that's just sprinted.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a good idea, guys.
Classic
That
Sharks.
one is frustrating. All right, Lats, anything from you before we well, let's give Lats a go. Franco, we'll come back to you. All right, I don't know, you're on a good rant here, Franco. Give us another one. Come on.
I thought just in keeping with the terrible decisions that we'd make, it was a terrible challenge.
That's what I was going to talk about, Franco.
Wasn't it?
That was not a good challenge. That was not the right
Mate,
time.
it touched Skelton's hand. What are you talking about?
No, it doesn't matter that it touched his hand.
It does,
timing
because
of
it's
the game, the position on the field. No,
It matters that it touched his hand because it was deemed back from Ronaldo, so that means it's a knock on from Skelton before we knock it on.
Did they call it?
They didn't call it, but that's
It's a
what happened.
50-50. Those bomb
I never
contestants
agree
are
with
always a
Franco.
50-50.
I never agree with Franco. If I'm agreeing with Franco, he's got to be right. He is
That'll do me.
100% right. It
That
was a
will do me.
It was it was a stupid challenge rules-wise, one, and the timing of it was dumb. Like, it was just dumb on all accounts. The field position, the whole lot. Like, it was just dumb. The decision-making of the damn Sharks.
And then no challenge for us for 60-odd minutes.
And there was a couple of times we could have used it.
There was a couple later we could have used it. Like, these emotional bloody decisions of these challenges that the Sharks make. Like, God, just killing us. Killing us.
Yeah.
All right, who was there? All right, so then Mike Knight's come through and said that he was there. Well, sorry, Mike.
Poor
You're not getting
bugger.
that night back, are you? Shake's come through. Thanks for that. Another positive. Love the podcast, boys. Let's be getting my thoughts across to other Sharks fans. Yeah, well, we're all angry together, I guess. So I don't know if it makes us less angry or anymore. And Chris Kelly's come through with his 3-2-1. He says 3 for Sutton, 2 for the bunker with the Crushers, and 1 for his son Zach for being in the dog section all night. Yeah, well, don't. And they're still playing.
Better than his old man usually been in the doghouse. So
that's right, Franco.
Should Trindle be kicking for touch? He seems to have a longer boot at the moment. Whether it's Nicho's calf or not, I'm not sure, because we do know that Nicho does have a long boot. He just hasn't been using it very much this season. Should Trindle be kicking for touch, try and get us a few extra meters in those scenarios?
Well, if Trindle's kicking more in open play because there's a problem with Nicho's calf, then it would make sense that in not open play, in terms of that kicking, you would minimize his kicking. So it just seems an absolute no-brainer. Good catch, Franco.
Well,
it just seems an odd
Nicho's got a
choice.
problem with his calf. They wouldn't have him kicking goals.
Yeah, but he
Well,
might
he's
be
95%
mentally
or
not giving it
90%
all.
kicker.
Yeah.
Well,
Look,
I don't think we
that
lost
kick
because
from Trindle totally was brilliant. That 40-20 attempt where caught Carraz out and got it over the sideline. But I totally agree with you. I think he's got a much bigger boot than Nicho.
What do we make of Bronson Sherry tonight, other than his stupid haircut?
Well, he's rubbish. He was rubbish tonight.
Stupid
He was
haircut.
strong. He was strong.
He's
I don't
strong.
think Yeah,
Like, he only had about 3 carries in the first half.
Across the line.
But-
He dragged Katoa across the line for the Sharks try. Yeah, he was pretty strong.
He juggled a catch and only just caught it back before dropping it too. But I didn't think he had any impact on the game at all.
And by strong, I mean physical. He didn't have a great game, but he was in our faces. He was up for that game. I would rather our centers though, if that's the question.
I think his look and feels trying to differentiate himself from how he used to look as well. Must be tough for Bronze and Cherry, just cop an absolute shtick. My goodness, if he was playing against us, I'd be tearing him a new one. So
after the Asada scandal, we can't really say anything.
Point at the scoreboard.
Well, so then what do we make of stuff at half time? Was it just boys being boys, or is it
they were having a laugh, mate.
What do you think?
They were having a laugh. There was nothing in that. The halftime thing was they both came out of it laughing. There was nothing. It's just Reid Marnie doing his Michael Ennis impersonation and
doing what he does best.
Nicho saying, "I'm not going to back down. I'll get in your face." And there's nothing in that. Soft.
Yeah.
I would have loved one of them to throw one, but
what's your 3-2-1?
My 3-2-1. I'm going to go 3 Siffer on his milestone night. I thought he was pretty strong. I'm going to go 2 to Nicho. I thought Nicho had a great game there. He in both attack and defence, and I'm going to give my 1 to Sione Katoa. I thought he was solid all night under that high ball. He's been caught out a few times, and he didn't let us down tonight.
Well, he wasn't solid all night because he dropped a few, but he was pretty solid.
He was that try that he scored. That
Nicho
try that he scored.
Well.
So,
but Nicho is done.
I thought his runs were good though. I thought his
anyone in the comments get your 3-2-1s into the comments. We're always interested to see what everyone else thinks.
Can I just throw in an honourable mention to Brayley as well? I thought Brayley had a good game tonight.
Well, he's running it a bit more, wasn't he? Which is, we called that out a few weeks ago that we wanted to see that more.
Yep.
So, all right, Rob's come through with 3 for Siffer, 1 for Kennedy McInnes, and -2 for Toby. I'm not sure if you can change the numbers around that way, Rob. But look,
I think Toby received points in the doggies one, mate. I think that was on the other side of the fence.
Yeah, I think. Well, yeah. God, was that just? I know we've been hammering Toby. Is that as bad of a performance we've seen from a Sharks player? Like for a seriously
individually,
long time?
it's up there. Individually, it's up there. That was very poor discipline, lazy footy, and inexcusable. One penalty, I can like the offside penalty. Yeah, I could forgive that, but not countless point scoring penalties that led to points, and plenty of them. Pretty much led to all their points, really, didn't it?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to. Well, Williams, if you're listening, if you can go back and through the annals of history and time and provide us with a time when you thought a Sharks player played worse than Toby, that will be interesting for Tuesday night's show. We won't make you do a list, though.
Define worse. There's been some shockers.
Ben Samet against the Warriors in 1995 is still the one that I consider the worst. But obviously the worst performance of all time that any player has ever judged against is Paul Carriage for the Eels against the Bulldogs in 1998 is still the worst individual performance in a match.
It's a terrible topic, but I guess it depends on what you're referring to as worse. Like they're putting effort in, but just not getting results, or I mean, there's
soundly hopeless.
Plenty of soundly
costly
hopeless,
errors and
prepared, right? Costly errors. There's a whole bunch of factors that, like, outside backs not taking a bomb. Albert Kelly, his debut match at fullback where he wasn't ready. Even
and Ricky said he wasn't even a fullback.
Yeah, Ronaldo Mulatalo being thrown in with 2 minutes notice against the Broncos. That was a pretty poor showing. Toby wasn't
from
great.
A seasoned player.
Yeah, wasn't great. But I mean, I tell you what, I think I heard or saw someone give Iro a bit of a rap. He was pretty low on his numbers, as usually high numbers. Still over 100 meters. So obviously
he did miss a big tackle on Crichton too, down that edge that they nearly went in towards the end of the game there.
And I noticed the forward pass that Trindle got pinged on. He
he overran it.
He overran it, and he did that a couple of times. Trindle shouldn't have thrown the ball, but he did that a couple of times, and the playmaker had to hold on to it. Bit of, I don't know, energy maybe. I guess my 3-2-1s, I'm going to go 3 points to Nicho, 2 points to Talakai, and 1 point to Kennedy. It's a bit hard. I'm struggling to pick one between Kennedy and Talakai, but that's probably the way I'll go.
Fair enough. As my mother walks by in the background, as does my little niece, as does Bianca B's big commentator. Yeah, right. I was trying to tell them to be quiet earlier on, but yeah, God, watching the Sharks with my lovely mother. My lovely mother is just saying, "Oh, how hopeless the Sharks are." It's just the same stuff all the time. I'm going to go my 3 points. I'm actually going to go. I do give Talakai a lot of the points, and I have just come to expect that from him now. And I also often give Nicho 2 points. So my expectations on those players are a little bit higher. And I have been a detractor of my good man, Will Kennedy. So I'm actually going to say Will Kennedy tried hard and did a lot of good stuff tonight. And we didn't lose because of Will Kennedy. So I'm going to give him my 3, and I'll go 2 for Sifa and 1 for Britton Nakora. But it may be a bit more of an encouragement award. But certainly those 3 stood out for mine. And I like that Brayley was running a little bit more. In terms of the forwards, I thought Jack Williams looked pretty good when he came on. I thought he had some good impact. I'm worried about Tommy's kind of seems to have come back to the pack a little bit. Seems to maybe it got to his head, all the fan mail and all of that. And Kafusi didn't look too bad either. So that's where I landed.
Boldo, do you think Fitzy's confusing our forwards a bit in the rotation in regards to starting, and you think they're like losing their way a little bit? Like, I know the bench is always strong, but we seem to have a different starting lineup of props and whatnot week to week.
I think it can't help. I think the consistency would certainly help the players a little bit more. But, you know, I just feel like if we start Royce Hunt, we don't get the impact from Royce Hunt. For some reason, the starting players aren't that. And Royce Hunt's obviously still a beast, but he wasn't as noticeable tonight. Maybe if he doesn't get the forward pass and it's a backward pass, Royce is charging through, and that's enough to get us ahead by 8 points, and we're calling it game over.
Yeah. He carried 4 blokes across the line, but couldn't get it down as well. He still had some really damaging runs. 5 was it? And he was pretty good in defence. Actually, he's still putting up in defence a bit tonight, Royce.
Yeah,
he's a strong player. He's one I definitely don't want to let go.
Yeah. All right. One of the Sharks peoples. Was that from you, Frank, or who put that in?
It was in response to SJD.
All right. Well, SJD's came through and said Justin Hodges in Origin, where he handed New South Wales 2 tries, is the worst of all time in Game 2, 2002. And then Franco has come and replied and said, what about Steve Turner, New South Wales 2008? That is also true. My top 12 has come through with 3 for Talakai, 2 for Kennedy, and 1 for Nicho. I think those 3 are certainly where they are now. And yeah, Rob, maybe start a Keep Royce petition. Isn't such a bad idea. And if you want to know more about the off-contract players, you can certainly go and do that by watching Franco's video in the comments. And look, SJD, I know you've got an agenda here because you always give me 1 point for the damn host of this damn podcast. I know, but that's all right. 3 for that.
He knows his stuff, SJD. I'm just going to we'll give him that. 100%.
Well, that's fair enough. And then look, there is one other comment that's come through, which was that Chris Kelly has come through and said he blames Boldo for changing his tip. There's a bit of controversy on the ET stand of what the tip exactly was.
You had the Dogs, didn't you?
Well,
we made sure you did on Tuesday's show.
It was announced on the Tuesday night show that I tipped the Dogs, and I did tip the Dogs. So I guess I'm in the lead, Franco.
Well done.
He's not getting drawn into that, are you, Franco?
Well.
Nah, Franco tried to stitch me up that I was tipping the Bulldogs, and I was never tipping the Bulldogs. But we should have known that as soon as all 5 of us tipped the damn Sharks, we were done. Because that's happened 3 times now. We've all tipped the Sharks and we've lost. So I was trying was trying to thinking, actually. I'm trying to just position myself to win the tipping comp, and I've got to catch Harley. So Harley's 1 point ahead of me. So I've picked out the match and the rest of the season where I'm not going to tip the Sharks. So I'm going to stick to that as my current thinking in that strategy of tipping comp thinking. All right. Before we close out the show, anything from you, Lats, and then Franco, before we say goodbye to our friends watching us on YouTube and Facebook and on later on Spotify?
No, buddy. I think we covered it all from my point of view.
I think that's fair enough. Franco, are you still angry, or have we soothed you?
Yeah, I'm pretty dirty. I think there's no easy games, right? But I think we would have penciled that one in for a win. I know us here on the ET stand on Tuesday night, we basically said 3 from 3 between the buys. That's already gone kaput. So, you know, I wouldn't have been surprised if the coach had looked at this little period as a moment to sort of establish ourselves and lock ourselves in the top 4. And it's just going to get the press on our backs now after a pretty horrible run. It's not good
press
to see.
On our backs and the press on the, is Nicho mentally well and all that rubbish.
Yeah,
that's not the issue. Sharks are just, maybe I was right all along, Franco, and they're just not that good.
We'll see.
So in other petitions, Franco and I are starting the re-sign John Morris as the coach petition. It will be starting Tuesday night. Not quite. We won't be doing that one just yet. All right. That was the ET Stand podcast. Videos that we've got out at the moment. There is an excellent video by my dear friend Franco on the off-contract players. It is a very, very thorough run through on the players that are off contract this season and next. It is a terrific listen. It is an involved listen. So if you're going on a bushwalk or you've got a 90-minute car ride, do yourself a favor and listen to that one. It's got stats. It's got walkthrough. It's got everything you could possibly think of. It's probably the best video we've done. So give yourselves a listen on that one. Williams and Chris Kelly will be doing the Classic Cronulla Chronicles this week for the Titans match. I think I've worked out some extra new tech on that one. So keep an eye out for that one. This week's last week's show on that one was particularly popular. And then we'll be back after full time to talk about next week's match post the Titans match up in Coffs Harbour. So a bit happening on the ET stand. Chin up, Sharks fans. If we won all the time, it wouldn't be fun when we won. And we will close off on your comment here, Paul, who says we suck. Yes, we do, Paul. The Sharks.
Again.
We suck. All right, guys, that was the ET stand. We will see you guys on Tuesday night for the live show of Up Cronulla. For over 50 years, people have come to see the Sharks play. Talent, skill, speed, intelligence, elite-level athleticism. That's not these guys. Biased, one-eyed, opinionated, more often wrong than right. They make up for their complete lack of talent with pure dribble, gibberish, and enthusiasm. This is the ET Stand Podcast.